up, yeah, gotta keep climbing, oh. Nothing but diamonds, nothing but diamonds. We at the top now, we came from the bottom, oh.
Welcome back to another episode of iOvercameAnxiety podcast. I'm with Call Me Meech, my co-host.
Oh shit, coining it.
We got DC and Millsy in the building,
Yes, sir.
and the cut. And we got Vito on the camera. Now, you will find this podcast relatable, educational, and supportive. We will touch every single necessary conversation, even if it's uncomfortable. As a host, you can expect full vulnerability from me, and I'm here to share my most uncomfortable moments with you in all hopes to provide some comfort in return. Now, this episode, we're going to switch it up a little bit. This ain't no interview style, like, getting someone's perspective, on a real life situation. This is more so a conversation. Everything is always a conversation, but
Right.
This is going to be a very, very much detailed conversation. And I think it's one of them necessary ones. So the topic we got here today is the truth about men really opening up about their mental health. And that could be a 3-part question, a 4-part.
It's
it's
an umbrella.
It gets
for
deep.
sure. Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's start at relationships to put it in a. Let's start at that.
Okay.
Men opening up to their partners.
To the significant other.
And I'll ask you, what do you think is expected in return?
Ooh. So what's expected?
As a man,
Yeah.
you
okay.
opening up about your mental health to your partner, your significant other.
Yeah. What do we expect? Or
What
is expected?
do we expect in return for us being vulnerable with our women?
Okay. So if we're gonna be vulnerable,
Everyone can answer.
it takes a lot. It takes I don't know. I feel like you gotta really find your person to really get to that point of true vulnerability. If that makes sense. I think that's the most important part before trying to show someone vulnerability because you think it's the route to something.
Yeah. Well, what does that trust look like, or it's not a one-size-fits-all, really? It's like a vibe.
It's not a
test.
one-size-fits-all, I don't think. Relationships are fucking complicated, bro.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
To the utmost truth of that, there's no blueprint. It's so when it comes to implementing, to me, relationships are you got your friend aspect and you got your partner aspect. And in the beginning of relationships, my question back to you would be, how long do you think it takes to get to that point to even want to have those conversations? Because you got to build a friendship, right? You got a type situation in a relationship before you go and have those other conversations.
I guess I can't speak for everyone, but I have a strong opinion on. I think it comes out kind of unexpected.
Okay,
So I don't think it's usually planned.
Yeah.
I think especially if you living with your partner and stuff like that, it just kind of comes out. You could be dealing with a lot. If you catch somebody on the wrong day, that person is with you most of the time. They 9 times out of 10 eventually will catch you on one of your bad days.
Yeah.
And not saying it's going to be a bad day where you snapping on them, just a bad day. They can see, dang, when it rains, it pours. It's one thing after another. And then I feel like that's when it's you might not have nobody to vent. Because, men, we pretty strong, right? For the most part. And not every situation makes me want to open up. I can usually, most of the bad stuff that happens to me, I'm charge it to the game. Yeah. Most of the stuff. But it comes a time to where, I don't know, a lot might be dropping on you, a lot of heavy shit.
Yeah.
And then it's that's when I'm all right. I feel like I kind of want to talk to somebody. I might want to freaking scream. It's hard for me to keep composure sometimes. Most of the time I'm cool, but it's days. So if you got a partner, go back to the question, catching you on when you at your breaking point. Yeah. Let's say that.
So vulnerable.
It's coming out.
Vulnerable means you want to you allow yourself to show the anger, the sad.
Yeah.
The down feelings.
Yeah, it's a pop quiz in a nutshell.
Kind of.
That's how I treated my relationships. It just comes. So it's a pop quiz.
Yeah.
And I will hope that person passes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of drawing if they don't.
Yeah, it does. But again, that comes with knowing the person and that's why I'm so generic when I say like you find your person. But like once I'm saying once you know.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
So in my relationship, I had those type of conversations relatively early.
Yeah.
Because like me, just my upbringing.
That's you though too.
Yeah, me and my upbringing though, it's like my reference points to like seeing vulnerability, or not even vulnerability, just like the angry side of relationships and the unstable part of relationships.
Yeah.
Once I found that rhythm with somebody, you're right. Those moments of vulnerability kind of just come and they go, and they're just learning curves with your partner. Like they're just it's this.
Yeah.
And I think it comes with once you allow yourself to. You have to allow yourself to do it. I think. But sorry, not to cut you off.
Yeah, no, I feel like as men too, like I would say like the question is interesting to me, or the topic is interesting to me.
Yeah, it's deep. It's a deep
because women make it a little bit unpredictable. Specifically, I'll keep it a buck. Like, especially, nowadays you got a lot of women calling men sassy and a whole bunch of other stuff for, doing woman-like things. And sometimes under a woman-like thing category could be complaining, opening up. We could call opening up. They might call it complaining.
Yeah.
Whatever. So
crying in front of somebody.
Oh,
like that's. I said it.
You ever cried in front of a woman?
Yes, sir. I tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Had the moments of just like
I have.
Yeah, like come on now. Like you ain't never really hit that point with somebody before.
Yeah.
If they ain't seen you cry.
Yeah. Only one person though.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same. Well, my mother.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, my girls seen me cry for sure. Also, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
That's me when it comes to my emotional awareness. Like, I learned not early, but I learned that you got to get it out when you got to get it out. Otherwise, that shit just sitting there.
I agree. It's hard to keep stuff in,
and that makes vulnerability hard too, because you got to show it to get through it. Like, not even show you. It just has to be expressed. And
how many? What are you expecting? To answer the question.
Yeah. Honestly,
You said you do it early because your question was when.
Yeah.
You said you do it early on.
Yeah.
What are you expecting in return?
Are you expecting anything?
And a patience. I think that's my biggest expectation, or I think that's one of my biggest needs in a relationship, is patience, and with patience comes seeing me get there and get through my shit to show you who I am, and want to feel comfortable to, like I said, cry in front of you. Need, like, happy tears, sad tears, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's what I expect. I expect the patience. If you want to see the vulnerable side with me, you gotta understand that it's gonna take time for me to navigate that, because as men, we don't have those outlets all the time.
And that's why it's so important to me, because I'm saying, why your partner is so important, and why I wanted to start with relationships, because that's you. That's what it is for me.
Yeah.
I'm not really venting to my mom sometimes, but not most stuff. It depends. I'm definitely not venting to my dad. I can ask my dad other stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I get different type of guy, different type of conversation.
Yeah.
But for crying and no.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's my woman.
Yeah.
That's why I asked her. What you think?
So yeah.
I agree with you as far as when. I feel like it sort of comes to a boiling point. Like, most men are gonna hold it in and not want to open up right away. But as far as like what I want out of it, like, I would just be looking kind of like you, patience, understanding, comfort, so you just don't feel alone. Because like I said, for me, it would be when I get to that boiling point, like when I just can't handle it anymore. Then that's when you get the breakdown and all that other shit, and that's being vulnerable. And I don't want you, like, I'm not like looking for you to make it better or do nothing like that. Just understand and comfort me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the patience.
It's like,
I think that's my
understanding.
patience and
I'll go-
understanding.
It's nothing like I'm looking for. I don't want anything.
I don't want
from you,
anything
like,
from you.
physically or,
Yeah.
like,
I just
tangible
need,
necessarily, like-
exactly.
Yeah,
Show
yeah.
me that energy. Don't
I go a little
just, like,
further. What's like is specific for y'all, like physical touch? Like say you crying to your girl.
Love language wise.
Would you like a hug, or do you just want a listen real quick, pat on the back? Like
I would say it's gonna vary every time. Where are we at when this happens? What was the triggers? What was the conversation we were having that now where I'm at? Do I just need to go take a walk? Do I want you to just, and that's patience.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, I might want you to leave
I just
me alone when
need to,
some alone time.
yeah, I just need
Sometimes I
to,
do want you to hug up on me. Sometimes I don't.
sometimes I don't,
listen
just
type
and be
shit.
here.
Right.
Like, I think
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest things. That's one of my biggest things is like, sharing energy with people, just being in a room with them, right, is big to me. And like, I don't like to just be any. That's why you don't find me at the club. I'm not trying to even be in a box like that with people.
yeah,
And just sitting next to somebody, that's just like a, you know, sometimes that's all like someone needs is just that.
Right.
But exactly. Just sit, just be there with me. Like, I'm not looking for, I just want you, I could sit here and just watch this show that's on right now for the next hour, but you right there and we chilling. We don't gotta say a word. I'm cool. Like, that's how I just sharing energy is, I think, my biggest, like, is what I return when I get that patience. That's kind of just an answer question that wasn't asked, but
yeah.
you know, just threw that out there.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, well, okay, we talked about what we expect, I guess.
Yeah.
What happens when it doesn't meet your expectation? Because we said a lot of things vary, but what if it don't vary to nothing? It's like, all right, you ain't give me no comfort. You wasn't really listening. I don't know. You might have started making it about yourself. Whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even putting scenario really into it, but whatever factor it is, have you ever been faced with that where you like, I expected you to, I needed this.
Yeah.
I ain't really get that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we talked about a boiling point, I for sure hit a boiling point. I'll be the first to tell you, like, I tried. You try to talk through, you try to communicate, but sometimes as dudes, we don't have that, we don't know the right way to articulate it.
Yeah.
And like you say what you're thinking, because it's kind of just like this like way you're feeling, but it like the way it's delivered sometimes don't always help. But you're just like, we're just blunt. You know, I think that's something that we have a disconnect sometimes with our partners. It's like that, like the way we communicate is like we're just blunt about things. Because we're still trying to figure out, a lot of us, how to tap into that opening up part.
Not gotten what I expected. I mean, yeah, at times, but like,
Is it
nothing comes out of it. It's not like I'm mad necessarily. Like, yeah, you feel away, but like you are like, nobody's a mind reader too at the end of the day. So like, like I said, I'm not expecting nothing from you. Like, this is what I would like, you know. But like, I'm not expecting nothing because like, I'm sure it's times when it's the other way around. You know what I mean?
You didn't give them what they
the
need.
right way, like, you know what I mean. And I'm not a mind reader. I can't read your mind. That's what we say. Like,
Double-edged sword. That'd be hypocritical in a sense if you.
Like, I mean, you can't.
I agree with that.
You can't put too much on nobody. You know?
Right,
Because,
right.
Like, we ain't mind readers.
It's
Like,
that, I think that patience.
It's all about
understanding.
Well, I was gonna ask that as a follow up, but that kind of answer as a follow up. But I was gonna say, is it a deal breaker, or is it more so like,
as long as you can,
all right, communicate with them and see if we can
Let's get through
common
it.
ground.
Deal breaker if it's like, you do communicate it.
Yeah.
And you see no change.
Yeah.
Constantly
Yes.
over periods of time.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Then that might be.
But it has to be a repeat offender, basically.
Yeah, but like, you see them putting in the effort, like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody ain't perfect, everybody ain't gonna get it every time type shit.
Yeah, true.
We're humans. We're creatures of habit, and like and a lot of us, even if we don't know it, are trauma response based. So like when those heated moments hit with your partner, you know, and you feel like you're not getting that, but also because we're also responding in a certain way that's not there, that's when those moments happen. That's when those blow-ups happen. But the best part about it is, can we both check ourselves and have this vulnerable moment together? I think that's you know.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what makes a difference.
Yeah, that's what makes it. Yeah, that's what makes a difference. Like, check yourself, bro. Grab your fucking ego and remove it if we're gonna do this. I think that's one of the biggest things, because you're buying in. If we're talking relationships, you're buying into another human being's entire existence. So let's, you know, put that in perspective. Like, yes, I'm all about you right now, but I can't be all about you because I start to take care of my bad. I still got to take care of what's going on the inside.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever had, now on the topic of sharing, being vulnerable, have you ever shared something vulnerable or just was vulnerable in general, like we're talking about, you know, to a significant other, and was one of whatever you might share, whether it's an insecurity or just something not most of the world knows that you share, circle back around into, you know,
Some other shit.
a weapon
And like
in a different argument.
A part of the argument somewhere else.
Yeah, how
We all experience.
have
it.
we? And how
have
does
experienced
that actually make you feel? Because I'll start like that's probably one of the worst feelings.
It
Like
hurts.
for me,
It hurts.
because I really didn't want to open up in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's hard for us. I don't know if it is the same, but it's hard. I'm like, yo, I really didn't even want to do that. And I don't really, it's not that I care what people think or nothing like that, but it's more so like, you might not deserve to even, for me to even, you know, share this type of stuff with
that a
you.
door I should
And then when you
open
do
for you?
that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, throw it back up in my face. And
That
it's like,
shit is crazy. That shit hurt, bro.
Yeah,
It hurts. Those moments hurt. I think, but also you got to remember that we're also all trying to, like, we all work on our ego every day. I hope not. Can't say we all. There's not a lot of people that don't. But the people in a relationship, when it comes to that, you gotta check yourself, and you gotta realize at some point you're gonna have to get checked. Like, you're for sure gonna have to. Like,
you gotta look within. You not. It's stuff you do. Like,
so when a moment like that happens, sometimes, and I would assume, in most situations, it happens earlier in the relationship, because it's like, this kind of all I know, and that person's still working on their way of communicating and trying to get heard. And sometimes people snap out and it goes left when, again, it's just an articulation problem. But like, we've all had that moment happen, but can you look someone in the eyes and be like, in my situation, I was like, that one fucking hurt. You know, you just say it. If you can say it, get it out. That one hurt. I wish that wasn't I wish that wasn't your response, and you could have had a different one.
Are you going to actually say that in real time? I can't say at this moment. I'm still able to say. Like, if someone does that, what I'm talking about, it circles back around in a different argument.
Insecurity.
Yeah, against you, and then that happens. I'm not like. It's hard for me to say that hurt. Now I want an eye for an eye.
You gotta check yourself, though. you gotta check yourself.
Now I'm gonna raise the bar. I'm not gonna be like, yo. I'm like, what?
That's not a good
I can't believe
cycle.
you. I'm like, oh, that's the game we playing. I'm keeping it a buck.
You gotta check
I'm
it.
keeping.
Well, I'm better.
I'm keeping it a buck.
That comes with having an understanding of, are you able to make yourself heard without being
Offensive and abrasive.
abrasive.
For sure.
So I think,
And that's because it hurt. That's why. It's just that I'm just trying to hurt you the same way you just hurt
because
me.
that one hit me a different way.
Yeah,
than you thought
you
it
hit me
did.
hard. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
And I'll say that. I'm like, all right.
You've got to cycle that.
Yeah.
You've got to realize that's a cycle you don't want to start, because you answer that way, then it's like that hits them, and they're like,
Yeah. And then,
like, damn,
Yeah.
you know, so that's why I think when I say I'm like, damn, that one hurt, and here's why. Or if at that point I just need to go take a walk, but you get that out, and you don't allow things to like fester and just sit and be like, excuse me, you just sent that shot at me, and I'm gonna let you. I think that's one of. It comes with patience with yourself.
It's part of becoming a man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, bro.
Patience in relationships, patience in conflict in general. That's a part of becoming a man, because specifically us, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say like, you know, women can get away with, you know, more stuff. I don't want to say that.
This is the black man perspective, bro.
Specifically, but I just want to say that, yo, we're not really allowed to crash out because the consequences are crazy.
Or
like you
elevated.
like black men crashing out, and men crashing out just in general though too. Like it's not good. No. It's not good for nothing. And you gonna look like the bad guy, whether you started it, it don't matter. When it reached to a certain height, you're gonna be blamed. You're gonna be held accountable. So that's the most important thing for us as men, to, you know, control your cool.
Yeah, navigate.
That's the most
world, bro.
To me. Now that we talking about it, yeah, that's the most important thing about being a man to me, because you got to control your cool.
Yeah.
Because
you can't get lost in the sauce, because you got to stay you can't be too cool, but you can't not stay cool. Like
balance.
Yeah.
Life contradicts itself.
It really do, because like a lot of people, I'd say, this kind of going down a different rant, but the cool guy and, you know, the chill guy, he get looked at different in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's soft. He ain't reacting to nothing.
Yeah.
That puts people who have put in work to not crash out, because you don't know the way I would have acted a couple of years ago. You don't know the way I would have. But we don't. I don't think we get a lot of credit for really the whole outside world that we gotta walk through, and then the things that are going on internally. Like, I don't think that battle's understood, because a lot of crash outs would be validated if that was understood.
Do y'all give people clean slates? One thing I can say about myself that I'm proud of, I think I do. Even though, like, say, going back to that, you hurt my feelings, and, you know, I want to get an eye for an eye or whatever, I'm not going to, that still wouldn't tell me, let's say I get into another relationship with someone months down the line or even years down the line, I'm not like, well, I remember such and such did this in this situation, so I expect you to do the same. I give partners clean slates for the first time.
Yeah, that'll be definitely.
Yeah.
Because you're putting yourself in a situation to be like, you already know this person.
Yeah. Yup. Yup.
You don't know that person. Let's be real. You know the last person you were with.
Yup.
Yeah.
And you know,
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yup.
Them also, or whatever their last situation was, type situation. Like, it's clean slates for sure. You have to. I think.
Like every job you go to, they say
get
your training.
I think.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think so. Yeah, because I mean, I think it's super important. Like, because like you said, it'd be a detriment to yourself. Yeah. At the end of the day.
That's attempting to put yourself in a cycle of something you.
Yeah.
That's trying to repeat history.
Yeah.
Or like,
they say history don't repeat itself. People repeat history. But like, that's what it is, because like
revolving door is what I call it.
If you was in like a toxic relationship, let's say, and then you transfer that to the next one, how are you ever going to get out of that?
Yeah.
Your only reaction and you're stuck in what my toxic relationship was.
Yeah.
If you're assuming everyone you're getting into is going to be that, and that's how your actions are, then you forcing yourself to be stuck in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So you got to give everybody a clean slate. It ain't. You know,
Do y'all? I want to ask y'all this. I want to ask y'all this. Do y'all agree with, like, definitely give people grace? What do you think about accountability? Even if you believe you did nothing wrong in a particular partnership or relationship, like just taking something away from every relationship. Because when someone asks, you ask somebody, male or female, and they'll be like, "Hey, no, this girl was crazy." Da, da, da. Nah, this guy's crazy. All he did was cheat. All he did was lie. It's always something about whatever they did. Sometimes, even if I believe I really didn't do nothing, I really gotta tap in to see, it's something I could have did better. It's something we could have did.
Has to be because I mean, you got to be able to check your ego in a relationship. I think that's the biggest thing. Because you're trying to blend two worlds, and to revert back what we said earlier, like everybody's still living their soul path. Even if we gonna ride together, side by side, it's still, you know what I'm saying, shit might, but I'm still on this road. But like you gotta take accountability. You gotta check your ego. Personally, those are the things I tell myself when it comes to like. Do I feel like I was wrong here? No, but could I be better is a question you got to ask yourself a lot. Could I have been better? Could I have shown more vulnerability, more patience in this situation, and sat down and say it's an argument that happened, and it kind of, it was one of them where you're like, this argument's happening, and I don't feel like I'm fully at fault here, but can you be like, maybe the way I approached something earlier led to this. Yeah. Can we work? I like to be told about myself as much as possible.
Absolutely, bro.
Please tell me.
How do I know?
How do I know? And I think with that,
I like constructive criticism.
I need it. You need it. I think you need it.
Not only constructive, but like
say it. Yeah, say that shit. Yeah, that too. Both sides. We need both sides. I think that's. Again, something that a lot of us, I didn't, to hear you, I'm proud of you. To hear,
different, bro.
To hear that shit.
Not to get
you go get a nigga in, bro.
Super sensitive. That's like the favorite thing my pop said to me. As
yeah,
a kid,
bro. Ever, bro.
Fuck, I love you. All that other shit. Nigga told me he proud of me. Yeah. That's a different feeling.
Validation.
Like,
validation.
Yeah.
We all want validation.
Exactly. It's like the same with if they tell you I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Different.
It's like, damn, you let me down.
Right.
I'm not even
proud of you. Damn, you lifted me up. I'm happy with you doing. Like, that shit up. Like, it's
but
people need that too.
The
people be doing the right thing.
You gotta help people.
Motherfuckers kill herself and shit. You know what I mean? Like, they feel like nobody's appreciating them and all that.
And that comes with taking accountability of your ego, like
actually,
good and the bad.
How much validation do we really need as men, for real, especially from our partners? Like,
to an extent, none.
To
an extent, none. We don't need it.
I'm saying it's appreciated.
It's yeah.
I mean,
I think that's kind of cold.
Appreciate you because we gotta carry so much. And not even just men, it's some women that carry a lot too,
100%.
like single moms and all that shit.
Sure.
But like, if you carrying anything, like, you don't need it. You doing it because you know you got to do this shit.
That's not to bash women, by the way, too.
No.
It's nice to have a, you know what I mean?
It's the black man perspective. That's it.
I see you. You doing your thing. Like, it's different.
Yeah. So not necessarily, I need validation, but it's acknowledgement is appreciated here and there. I know. Okay, you watching.
To feel seen, to feel seen and heard and understood is in my eyes all I look for. Those three things I would say: to feel seen, to be heard, and to be understood. And that third one's hard, to be understood.
That's the problem, bro.
That third one's hard.
I saw this shit a couple years ago. Hope said it though, and it like stuck with me. Like I've been telling motherfuckers about this shit since I heard it. He said life is all about understanding. The more you understand people, the less you'll get upset by the things they do. Like, even if it's some shit you don't like, because you just have to understand where it's perspective, understanding. You see where they coming from. All right, why would they even do that? Even if it's some nut shit, like somebody, like, okay, they did that because X, Y, and Z. Okay, why am I even sweating it, bro? I know where your head at. I know why it's all about giving people grace, too, because, like, we could be petty, some shit drawing, but, like, you just gotta give people grace and understanding. That's where I've been, like, with it, bro. Like, I calm down a lot.
You don't know where they see. Even road rage. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I see people, sometimes I let people rock because you don't even know. They could be late. They could be. Some people be tripping. It's not who they is. Even I'll give an example like in the B&B business. Like this resonated with me a lot, and it made me feel a lot better whenever someone complains or anything. This guy said that people only vacation on average once a year, twice a year, right? So I have vacation rentals. So it's not that some people just might be assholes, but then not all the time. You might just be catching somebody that only gets to vacation 1 or 2 times a year. And if they run into an inconvenience, it's hard for them to just like let it go or pat on because it's like, dang, there's the one time and here we go. Like this, you know what I'm saying? So you're seeing people technically at their worst just because of the scenario. And you can't like really judge. So giving people grace on that part, but then that's a 2-way street too, because they can give the host grace too, good stuff. Everybody got to give everybody grace.
Everybody understood that.
Yeah.
We'd be at a way better fucking place.
Yeah.
Give it great. Yeah, that's a good keynote for this episode.
Give everybody grace and bro. We be probably a lot of people
give grace.
Will feel better. Because they ain't nothing, I ain't gonna lie, that's probably one of the best feelings in the world, getting grace. When you know you messed up or something, it's just a tough scenario where you're probably to blame at something. They was like, yo, it's cool. We understand. You ain't really mean to do whatever. Yeah, I really didn't. Like, and especially when you like, it's unintentional and like you mess up about something, somebody give you grace, like, yo, nah, it's all right. We get it, how things happen. That should feel good. It's like.
That reverts back to being vulnerable, to allow people to be vulnerable. You give me grace to mess up. You give me grace to not be perfect. I'm going to give you when it comes down to it, if I feel you've given me that type of energy, you're going to make me feel like I can be outward. Mm-hmm. If you give me grace to be human, I think that's a simple question. Like you said, if everybody did it. Mm-hmm. But, that's why it's hard for us to be outward in that emotion sense. It's hard because we don't feel like, a lot of us got to feel like we carrying it. Like we really, it don't matter we gonna run through walls and run over mountains and we gonna get it there. We gonna do it. Mm-hmm. But like at the same time, sometimes we just, like you said, a fucking pat on the back. Something simple.
But then sometimes I believe, though, that everything can't be understood from whatever perspective you at, though. On a plethora of things.
An attempt.
It's the thought that matters.
The thought, okay, yeah.
And give me the patience to help you understand.
If you don't understand, give me patience. And let's get there.
Yeah. But if somebody doesn't even understand,
then you're fighting an uphill battle that you're better off removing yourself from. Yeah, I think
that's where it's like a deal breaker because, like, for instance, like men and women, like I can't understand what it feels like to be on my period. Yeah. I can't understand. I can be like, yo, you want me to rub your back? You want me? I can do it.
I just want to help.
I can do it. But I can't be like, them cramps be a motherfucker. I can't, like, I don't know. But, so vice versa on the other end, what's the example for us? Like, where they can't,
our favorite sports team just took a L.
Like, I don't get it.
Like I need my time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just need a moment. You know what I'm saying?
That too.
I gotta navigate this. You know.
That's what it is. It's understanding that you will never understand.
Yeah. Oh.
But you can only comfort.
You can. Yeah, and you can. Yeah.
Yeah, because people criticize things they don't understand.
Yeah.
So if your partner's like coming at you with something and you don't understand it, you might start to criticize it naturally. Because people naturally criticize what they don't get or what they don't understand or what they don't comprehend. So it's like on the other hand, you receiving it as that, but really they trying to get understanding, but it's being articulated in the wrong way. But if you understand that, I don't know what in a nutshell, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I understand that. Vice versa, on the other end, women, you don't understand what it's like to be a man.
Yeah.
We both should understand that and just try to give comfort to the people we love on the opposite sex and how we can do that. Because once you start to criticize the stuff that you don't understand, like, I feel like that's where all the problems come in. Like, where you like, I see you can even see online when these dating like couples, like these viral like people that do content and stuff, and but the stuff they be doing sometimes be like real life situations. So say I see a lot like men getting out the shower and like getting all water on the ground. You not really you getting too much water. That's like a pet peeve.
That's my girl biggest joint.
That's a pet peeve. How do you
get the floor so wet?
Yeah,
I got
pet peeve.
It was wet. I don't
know. Yeah. That's apparently a pet peeve with a lot of women, right? To me, I'm just like, what are you talking about?
I'm in the bathroom out the shower. What you talking about?
But I learned to understand that, they mind work a little differently, and then some stuff bother them a little bit more with stuff. And sometimes I notice it, and I try to work around, because I used to just get mad. I'm like, this is dumb. Like, you talk about dumb stuff all the time, but you calling them, I'm being real right now. You calling them some, again, I was criticizing something I didn't understand. Yeah. I'm like, I don't understand why you're getting mad at this. This is very small. This has nothing to do with real life situations. You talking about floor getting wet that's going to dry very soon. But, in our mind, but in our mind, I'm criticizing what I don't understand on their end, and you do that, so it's funny. It's like so many scenarios like that, like where I love I keep using it, in the sport, it's like, but the opposite sex, like we really, like God made us different, like, but we complement each other. Yeah. And once people start to realize that, like, okay, women do stuff that we don't really agree with, and then vice versa, men do stuff that women don't really agree with. But women are good at certain things that we're not good at, and we're good at certain things that they not good at. And when you put them together and everybody understands that, you got a great family foundation.
Life's a puzzle, bro.
A good, you know what I mean?
Fucking puzzle.
We're not supposed to understand everything. We're not going to get all the answers on earth. I don't believe that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. That's why it's so hard dealing with death, because you're looking for answers. You're trying to, why did so-and-so get killed? If he didn't, you can say, if I would have picked him up this day, that wouldn't. You start to think of a bunch of stuff like how you could have prevented, how. We don't know. We're not going to get all the answers on earth. So I think people try to overstand stuff too much that they're not supposed to.
Sidebar. What's your take on understanding another person's grief process? That's a deep question.
Grief has to happen.
Okay.
For you to see it.
Yeah.
So it had, again, one of those things, how we started the conversation, how when does it happen? It happens like naturally. You kind of get thrown into the fire, like when it comes to that. So like seeing, especially your significant other grief process, like say if they lost a family member that was really close to them, like that's when the first time you're going to see like how they really take something and how like you and how you should. And everybody's grieving process is real different. You got some people that's kind of like, men and women. Like sometimes women are just, can be on like a hardcore type of thing, or they can super break down. Same with men. Sometimes men can be on some hardcore type of stuff. Like the death don't really bother you that much. You like, it is what it is. People die. Sometimes people had that. And then other people is like, I can't get over it. Why? Why my son? Why? Like you got to see who you dealing with. Are you dealing with somebody hardcore? If you're dealing with somebody hardcore, I would say like, hey, babe, you want to talk about like I'm here if you need me. Like I'm good. All right. If you know what I'm saying, I'm here if you ever want to, check back in type of stuff. You got to keep peeling the onion back with people like that. And then you got the other people who they destroy, you see it. They showing you, oh man, they a wreck. Mm-hmm. And I guess at that point, knowing whoever, that person is, I think if it's time that's happened before you were able to see what they deal like through a grieving process, you should know a little bit about how they deal with, conflict and stuff like that. Can kind of go off of that. And then, I don't know, you start, playing guessing games with it until you figure out. But patience, like you said.
You ain't never gonna figure it out though. I think that's the biggest thing everybody's got to remember. Like, you're gonna find ways to navigate it, but like trying to fully understand why someone is how they're feeling about loss of any sort, loss of job, loss of person, home, any type of something that causes a fucking chaos in your life. how someone finds their footing again after that, after taking a blow of however, is just like, how human can you remember that everybody is?
Yeah, because most people say the wrong things at the wrong time.
Yep.
Sometimes, you know, especially men, like on some logic type stuff, you trying to explain a bunch of logic to your woman in a certain situation where she's not really in a space for logic. She's just in a space for listening and understanding. But we are problem solvers, so it's kind of natural. So sometimes it's hard for us to like pull it back. Or I would say I'm guilty of that sometimes. Like just like I'm always trying to problem solve. If my girl presents me with a problem, my thing is to solve it. But sometimes every problem is not to be solved by you, at least.
That's human nature, though. Like,
Yeah.
We're always looking for explanation.
Yeah.
We need why is 1
Yeah.
plus 1 2 type shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, we need to know like why this fits together. Like
Yeah.
that's just us. Like, bro, we need reasons. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're always gonna be looking, trying to make sense of shit, and some shit just don't make sense.
Just don't
You know
make
what I mean?
sense.
Like we was talking
Yeah.
last night with the music shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like some shit is just feeling. It's not like everything ain't mechanical. Everything
Yep.
ain't fucking fundamental.
Yep.
Some shit is just don't make sense. It's
Yep.
feeling. It just is what it is. Like
Yep.
it's simple as that. Like, you know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep. That's why you see artists get interviewed. They like, yo, how they write that song? Like, what was your process? When and they be like, like I ain't gonna lie, with Lights, I was kind of like that when someone asked Lights about Serenity, or I think he talked about it or whatever. I'm thinking, yo, he must have been I'm thinking the craziest story because how I'm thinking he was like
the craziest record.
He was like, I wrote Serenity like 20 minutes. Like, I was like, oh, like that. So yeah, it's just, you know, it just comes and you trying to figure out some crazy answer, some crazy story to this, and it's like, it ain't that.
It ain't always an answer.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I believe in God. I ain't gonna say I believe in a specific religion, but I do believe in a higher power because I don't think we're down here just winging it. I don't understand how people believe we down here and it's us and we just kind of, we don't control nothing. Like we don't control nothing, bro.
You know why? Because motherfuckers still don't know how certain shit was made or how. If you don't even know everything about it, how the fuck are you gonna say I'm the only person here? Like, we're the only fucking people or capability here. Or, like, it don't even make sense. Like,
I'm out of control. I ain't the one doing none of this. Yeah, that's
a whole.
That's another job, but.
It's just kind of piggybacking the whole thing about like, you know, being vulnerable, and on the other side of being vulnerable, you just kind of, I guess we come to the conclusion that we want understanding, we want grace, human. And we want validation or acknowledge. I don't like that word. Acknowledgement. Acknowledgement
is a
you know what I'm saying?
word.
I think that came to the conclusion. That's where we at with it. I mean,
yeah,
that
bro.
shit.
None of us are actually like, none of us know what's going on. So if we're bringing this back to allowing ourselves to be vulnerable during fucking relationships, you've got to understand that if we want to be simple, I'm just a speck, just like you're a speck on this fucking floating rock that we're on right now. And if you can figure it all out, you let me know. But my thing I tell myself is I don't know shit. I gotta learn it all.
You literally learn something every day. You don't know nothing. Like, it's insane how many things, like, I don't think people really grasp the concept of, like, bro, you don't know nothing. Half of y'all ain't even been out of the state. Like, half of y'all ain't been out of the country. Like, most of y'all don't got passports. You never seen this part of, like, it's crazy how people got strong opinions. You ain't do nothing. That's why when you young, like, I get it why, like, you know, old heads would say, you know, stuff about your age all the time. Oh, young and you don't know. But now I get it because I'm just like, especially when I'm talking to young boys in the B&B game and stuff, and I'm like, some young boys get it. And I'll be like, yo, this is my money. This is my business. And y'all in there trying to party.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? Some people, he like, yo, he right. That's his money, bro. We tripping right now. Then there's another dude like, no, bro, but he don't, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But that's the age kicking in. That's the age. Some people grasp a little quicker, but that's the age. You're going to live long enough to be like, well, most people don't realize things until it happened to them.
I think it's a flex to say.
Yeah, that's the ultimate.
I think it's a flex to say that you matured. To say you're mature. I think that's a flex.
Yeah.
Because
to show you mature, not to say.
Yeah.
Everybody can say it.
Yeah, for sure. To show that you're mature.
There's a lot of old heads out here that's young boys.
Young boys, bro.
Living their second childhood.
Exactly. That's a major sidebar.
Yeah.
Whew. To appease to the child that we have within is the thought that just came to.
Yeah.
After saying that.
You can do that maturely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you can
absolutely.
And be taking care of your business.
Absolutely. And still having fun.
Get the shit you want.
Yeah.
And you do all the shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's motherfuckers that still want to dress like a young boy. They're hanging out, trying to... It's
doing too much.
Yeah.
It's weird.
There's levels. There's levels to it for sure.
Living in their mom basement still.
Yeah, chill out. That's OD.
Yeah.
The basement is wild.
Yeah, I think it be variables with people, like your upbringing, your influences, like most people are followers, or I'm going to say most people are sponges, like, and just people absorb the wrong things sometimes, or you absorbing, the good thing. And now I'm going to go ahead and say everybody's a sponge.
Everybody's
you
a sponge.
you either absorbing the wrong things or it's like not proportion. You absorbing maybe 25% good things and 75% bad things.
Yeah, bro.
And other people absorbing 75%, versus 25 on the other end.
I don't think enough people. Excuse me. I don't think enough people protect their energy with enough like selfishness. And I think that tails back to like some people are too quick to be vulnerable, and some people aren't vulnerable enough in their lives. But that's because they're just like.
Yeah.
Like...
Everybody got to find a balance with that, because I think you either start off where, I probably said this in another episode too, like, you got people who are straight blunt, like, I think that's you. Like, you're way more blunt than me.
Yeah.
Like, if you see some drawling shit, you going to say something a lot quicker than I am. Like, that's just a fact. But sometimes I might be better at analyzing the situation, sometimes maybe in certain situations, because the way I am. Yeah. But it's also sometimes I get the shitty end of the stick because I didn't speak up. And where that's, I'm saying, where you got an upper hand on a person like me. Yeah. And we both had to learn when to pull back.
Absolutely.
Or when to,
absolutely,
go in type stuff. Because everybody's different. And I guess, like, genes, DNA, personality, like, it's crazy how how genes and stuff work, like your mindset, like you really get that from your parents. Like, I believe, like, I don't know, the more I get older and talk to my dad, I'm like, yo, I used to think I was more like my mom. I'm like, yo, I'm actually more like my dad for real. Now I'm older and we be having conversations. I'm like, no, we think, and then he says it too. Now that I'm old enough to say, he was like, nah, all my kids, like, you,
I
was like
50-50, bro.
Yeah.
I think I'm 50-50 on both parents, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, like, my reservation, but also my extrovertedness at times is just like the way I'm both of my parents is the craziest shit. Yeah. Because like I'm a selective extrovert.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, bro. I do kind of want to cap it right there, because that was the nutshell, and I felt like we accomplished what we needed to accomplish with that conversation. Like we all came we brought it out there, we said how we felt and what we think about perspectives and what we expect, and then it came out to like, okay, boom, boom, boom. These are the answers that we expect from that situation. So opening up about their mental health and what happens in return, and I hope you guys can get a little bit out of this. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know, bro.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I overcame anxiety. We going up. You know what I'm saying? We got 37,000 views in the past month or so. Like, it's not a lot, but we staying consistent. We growing. This from the muscle. Like 0 subscribers really to this. So stay with us, man. I think our conversations is good. More people tap in, they gonna see like this is what we all need. Yeah. And what
tap in the comments on the conversations. Yeah. Like time frame it. Tag a certain thing that you heard us say. Let's talk about it. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Let us know feedback. Say what we tripping. Nah, I don't agree with that. Please. All feedback. Something you agree with, because we can elaborate on it.
How I'ma know if I don't know?
Yep.
But we're here talking, we're navigating.
Yes, sir.
That's about
Ain't
it.
no hard feelings, though. But, you know, another episode of I Overcame Anxiety podcast, man, and we out.